Hello, welcome to this episode of Conversations for Change from the World Consciousness Alliance. My name is Christopher Greenwood, and I'm here representing the World Conscious Alliance, which is a platform designed with the sole purpose in mind. That's to raise the awareness of the peoples of the earth to the highest of human refinement, being kindness, compassion, and unconditional love. What we're doing is we're bringing forth all notable entertainers and reputable people from across the world to share in this similar voice of bringing more compassion, kindness into the world in which we live. We're creating a movement and we're fostering an attitude that ensures that we leave the earth better for those generations to come. We're wanting to demonstrate that it's possible to be successful in life without greed, competition, jealousies and criticisms, and all the heaviness which currently surrounds the world situation that we find ourselves in. Today, I'm delighted to be in conversation with Dr. Naveen Singh Suhad. He's born in Hanya in India and moved to Zurich, where he did his master's degree in business management and was later awarded a PhD in sports science. He's earned several medals in wrestling competitions for India and has even represented the Swiss Olympic wrestling team. He's now a prominent CEO in Switzerland, focusing on the health tech sector, and he's a firm believer in the Indian concept of karma and the Swiss values of punctuality, hard work, and precision. Dr. Naveen Singh Suhad, delighted to bring you on. Also a notable speaker, having spoken to the UN about some similar topics which we'll discuss today. And we'll just share a conversation where it'll be great to get your views on the topics which the World Conscious Alliance is looking to bring more visibility to and create a real conversation about. So thank you for joining.
Thank you, Christopher. It's a pleasure to be here. So nice of you to give me the time and the chance to speak on this platform. And let's begin the conversation.
Great, thank you. So we have some really good questions here. So mainly what we're trying to bring here is the attention to people of a world of alternate consciousness. Instead of greed, competition, comparisons, jealousies, we want to be able to promote something higher and discuss, is it even possible? Does that have a place in the world? The first question, which I think is one that's really relevant, is how do you see the world now? How do you see a different world post-corona?
This is a very interesting question, actually. There are different ways you can see the world post-corona. There's a positive side and there's a negative side. So the positive side, I would say, is a lot of individuals have come up to help the community. A lot of people have get together, a lot of different religious institutions, individuals, businessmen. They are doing a lot to help other people, the guys who are not so much financially capable of coping with COVID or other things. So worldwide, you see a trend. A lot of humanity is showing. A lot of people have come up in front to help a lot of individuals. So this is a very positive sign, I think. On the other hand, the day-to-day life and people which are concerned, there is, of course, there's a need of a social distancing. And I think this distancing is something which is going deep than being physically at a distance. I think we are really getting distance apart from other people. You cannot travel a lot. You have to be confined to home or a very smaller circle. So which is making, I think, which will make a lot of impact for the coming years. People would be more introvert, or it will take them time to open up again and just embrace the other peoples socially and physically and also morally. So this is, I think, the negative impact which Corona would have on people, apart from there are so many deaths and there have been so many people who suffered from Corona. But I'm talking about the social impact which Corona had in this world.
This is really relevant because in the world at the moment, we're so united by social media. I mean, we hear the news almost instantaneously, and at a phone, a click, a message away, we've got our friends and contacts and whoever we would like to speak to. But ironically, we're actually become more like islands, more separated, both from a platform point of view of the social media, and as you said, by social distancing. Do you think there's anything we can do to change that now? and anything that you think we could do to make a difference in our even our personal lives and also maybe the societies we live.
I think for the sake of the society, it's really important that we follow the social distancing at the moment, physically. But of course, I don't really consider that due to social media, we are coming closer. Technology is a very good tool to be in touch, but it doesn't bring you closer. I would still prefer to do just a phone call to talk to my friend than just write, "Hi, how are you?" on the social media platforms. I think I'm not against social media. It's a very good tool and technology which can keep you always in touch with your loved ones and know what they are doing, what they are up to. But I think it's just keeping everyone very on a e format. So you're electronically you are connected, but I think it's not the real connection. The real connection is when you hear somebody, when you hear the voice, the tone and the pitch, when you see maybe a video call, you see the emotions of a person. This is something which can really make a difference rather than just being posting pictures on social media and commenting or putting likes on it.
Yeah.
I think at the moment, of course, we can do a lot of stuff. Still being social distancing, you can take part in many people's different lives, their businesses, their social things through video call. Being there, thinking about them, being mentally present in their life, giving them a phone call. So I think this is a time we should really be in touch with our connected people or our friends and make a time for them.
Yeah, I think this is important, how we do that as well. Give the time, be connected. Recently, there's been a movie that's been released as well, which really focuses and highlights the challenge of social media that's presenting, primarily for the youth as well. So the teens, the kids, there's an added challenge there for them too, because that's the world which they grew up in.
Yes, I think it's a very important topic to talk upon. But still, I would say it's a good technology. It just depends on us how we use it. I mean, you can use something for good and you can use something for bad. It's all depend on an individual. And I think with the COVID, people are confined to their house. They do work from home, but I think they have a little bit more time for themselves and a little bit more time reserved, which because they are not able to travel. So this time, I think they should really invest in building up their relationships with family, with friends, with whoever they would like to.
Yeah. And it's interesting, throughout time, throughout our life, we're always trained to see differences. Whether that's countries, whether it's cultures, whether it's color, race, but in essence, we're all the same. Blood is the same color, and time is the greatest equalizer of everything. In the end, we come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. Yet there's a mad rush to acquire, a mad rush for possessions, a mad rush for wealth, status, to conquer, to beat the enemy, which is not really an enemy. And you see now a polarization across the world in all sorts of places. So how can we bring a message that we are the same, in essence? How do we make people hear that?
Well, Christoph, you can make people hear that, but they will just hear from one side and will go out the other side. I think we should realize people that they feel that we are all one. There are some people, it's a lack of education, lack of progress, lack of exposure, lack of travel, lack of maturity. There are a lot of things which lack and which makes their thinking very in a shrinked way. The thinking is focused on one thing, materialistic, acquiring materialistic things, money. I think the one individual which grows and more, broadens his thinking, broadens his horizon, he would come on the same conclusion which you had just said. We are all same. So the point is just to make humans or people to realize that we are all same. And how do you realize it? I think there are a lot of tools to do, because first of all, you have to be at ease with yourself. You should realize about you. Who are you? Why are you here? What's your purpose in life? We just born to acquire money or just run behind the money and then just die and everything else doesn't matter? I think these questions, when they start popping in an individual's head, then he comes on a path which takes him eventually to the self-realization. And when he has a self-realization, he realizes all the things which you have just said.
And now I think as well, it's what you have is the ideal situation, because all the things which you would have at once had access to quite readily, even just to travel to places we'd like to go, cities, countries, new places to see, to go out, to drink, to a bar, to whatever we used to do as social activity. It's gone. Like, we have to, we're forced to spend more time with ourselves. So it's the opportunity. I think as well, if people catch on to that idea, you know, that we are the same, that we are one, and also this feeling that we can actually give good to the world, you know, moving from say selfishness to selflessness, it's probably quite a change. And I know we introduced you, but I know that you do much more great work in the communities. You do a lot of charity activities and a lot of selfless work. So, what would you say to those people who've realised that there's more to life and that they want to do something? What steps can you make to bring themselves to the world and give their gifts selflessly?
I think humans should travel back to their base. As you said, you know, now because of the COVID, you cannot travel, you cannot just mostly for the in the beginning, most of the people were confined at home. And at that time, I posted a picture on LinkedIn which said, "You cannot go out, so let's go in." And I think that is I mean, still, it's a time where you can do a lot of meditation. You can sit with just closed eyes, see what's going on inside, just seek the answers why we are here. Go back to the base. Once you're back to the base, you don't have a sympathy for the other human beings. You have empathy. You know, you think like that. There is no, you don't distinguish them different individuals. When that comes, then the charity and everything else comes from your heart. We see in this capitalism world, there's a lot of philanthropy and charity which is based on ego. You know, you do something, so then you post it everywhere in the internet. You know, you need a recognition. You need to say he is a philanthropist. He has acquired some wealth and now he is giving it for charity, doing some good. But I think that the true people, the true givers, are one which you never know about what they are doing. They are behind the scenes. They just keep on giving. It's not about wealth. It's about what they bring to society. Their social work which they do. You know, just helping one old man to lift his groceries, just helping somebody who fell from bicycle to get up, just helping a guy who doesn't have a home to spend a night with him. A lot of things. There are a lot of unsung heroes, and they don't come in front. They don't want to take the credit. They don't are part of a charity organization or anything.
Yeah.
I think these are real people who have traveled to their base and realized that all humans are one. There's no difference between me and you, or him and them, or Chinese or Indian or American and European. It's all the same. And when you see and you recognize every individual, even you don't distinguish people through sex. I mean, there's no male and female. You just see them as one individual, which you are connected. We are just all part of a cosmos, which is connecting one to each other.
Yeah, it's good. It's almost as well that it's that they realize it's not about the activity of doing something. It's more of an attitude that they have to life. Like you said, those simple acts of helping someone with some groceries or something. It becomes a lifestyle, a way of being. I like that story. You have some. I wanted to ask as well because you have some particular gifts. So by nature or by destiny, you were gifted with the you know the quality of strength, which led you into the profession of wrestling, and you've become an influence in that respect, well respected as well. How would you how would you go about influencing the next generation to do something now so that we leave this place better for the generations to come?
I think what I would say to the new generation or the current generation is the base is know yourself, know what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. Once you know yourself, there is immense potential which you can do. You can always progress, be better, but actually, I feel we are at the best how the God created us. And the creativity of this cosmos is such huge that every individual from the 8.6 billion people who are on the world, every individual is so different in terms how he thinks, how he looks, his iris pattern, his fingerprints, his DNA. And once a Christopher has come on the world, there will be no other Christopher with the same DNA, with the same fingerprint, or the same iris, or even the same thoughts and thinking and how you process. So it's if you see, it's creativity at its highest, and which it shows is we can always make progress, we can always do the betterment of ourselves, but it all realizes by self-realization, by knowing what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. Are they really your weaknesses, or do you think they are your weaknesses because you are comparing yourself with somebody else? Comparative analysis is a very good tool if you use it rightly, and I think most of the people are using it for competition in a bad way, jealousy and all that thing. And I think there shouldn't be any competition between even two brothers, even two people, husband, wife, two partners, because everybody is so different. Their way of thinking is different, and the way they are gifted from the God is different. You just have to find what's your gift, and then process it for the betterment of humanity. Just use your gift to make money, use your gift to do business, use your gift to be at the top of the world, but at the same time, use it for why it's given to you as well.
So there's probably now then a generation of youth which might even be struggling to find their gifts. So how could we guide these youth? Because from a life maybe where indulging in the senses to one that, like you said, is more practical and focused on bringing our gifts to the world. What guidance would be best place to give?
I think for those young individuals, it's a time that they invest some time and resources to find out about themselves. There are a lot of extraordinary individuals who have given the TED Talk. There are like a lot of very good life coaches. They are mentoring people. There are people who have YouTube is full of videos where they have given excellent speeches, which can really make you think. It can really make you think. What are we? Why are we doing that? Or oh, this is. If you go and analyze or see other people and listen to them, there's a lot of literature and text and videos and books which are outside in this world which can really make you reflect on yourself. Just go inside yourself and ask those questions, or say, hey, this what is written in this book is exactly what I have. I never realized it. It's just about realization, and you can realize it through meditation, through a self-realization, which can take a lot of time. And it's something which you cannot control. It comes when it comes from the nature. Or you can use the resources which are on the outside world to just compare and see where you stand and how is it. It's in the end up to you. We have to do something, spend the time on ourselves. We are always in the outer world, watching TV, on social media, doing things outside, but we never really spend time on ourselves. I think this is the most important step, to start spending time and resources on our individual self.
Yeah, that's great. I think this is sound, solid advice. Get that inspiration, explore, especially with youth. You have the time to explore, try, experiment, fail, get up again, try something else. One of the key things I find that for my own self, and maybe you as well, is leading by example. Because I think for many people, preaching or talking or telling generally doesn't work. It's always when you see someone doing it that gives you that feeling. It's like, oh, okay, that's what it's about. I can do that as well. Now I think we have a real challenging time. And what sort of lifestyle do you think we could lead that sets a good example for the next generation?
Well, Christopher, I think when you are very conscious, when you are aware of what you do and how you move, then you are actually setting up the example. If we are focused in our lifestyle to set up example and lead by example, or showing somebody how it should be done or how we can do that, then I think you miss the point. If you're really conscious and aware about everything you do, if you're in complete awareness and conscious what you are doing, then I think you would do it at your best, and it will automatically become an inspiration for the people who watch. Now, there's a lot of things going on around us every day. When you're standing at a bus stop, when you're standing at a tram stop, when you are going somewhere, it's up to us which we take. Sometimes we take inspiration from small things. Sometimes people take a picture and post it on social media saying how inspirational this is. How this particular person saw this activity and found it really inspirational. Whereas there are hundreds of other people who just passed by, they didn't really got it. Yeah. It's a matter of interpretation also, it's a matter of how we take it. But I think we should be really honest with ourselves and be very aware and conscious when we do something. And by doing that, we can do it to our best capabilities, and then it becomes inspirational itself.
Good. I hadn't ever thought about it that way. I always considered, give the example, do this, but you're right in a way. If you're conscious of what you're doing, then this naturally filters through to inspiration for others. Um, for one of the messages that we have here on the platform, the World Consciousness Alliance, is we consider the world more of a responsibility than a right. So it's not given to us. You know, it's a responsibility that we, whilst we're here, we use it and we use it well. So with that respect, we think about these type of questions, which is how do we express our highest duty to this world? What is it that we must do?
I think again it comes back to the same thing. If we really respect or really follow as a human being what's our highest duty to be present in this world, if we fulfill our lives at the highest potential which we can basically deliver, then our highest duty is fulfilled. You know, it all starts from your own self. Now, if I want to go out and say, hey, stop cutting the trees, you know, we should stop cutting the trees, but I myself consume a lot of products which are made of wood and trees. So this is something which is happening in the world on a lot of things. You can call it hypocritical, you can call it anything that you want, but I think these people are just, they want to do something good, they want to take the responsibility of the world, but they are just not aware. That's where awareness and consciousness comes. The day they become aware what they are consuming or what kind of footprints they are leaving in the world, they become responsible for the world and they become responsible for this planet. So awareness is which brings you the responsibility.
Yeah, and then once you have that awareness, you know what you need to do. You touched on some things there as well, and I think what's wrapped into there is the element of compassion. Now, our founder is Mahenji. He's a fantastic humanitarian in the world and altruist, many platforms doing great things. He talks about kindness, compassion, and unconditional love. Now, they are maybe just concepts for some people and the words that sound nice. But do you think that these are actually practical to live? And are they feasible for a modern man to live a life with those qualities?
I think Mohanji is an amazing human being. I first met him in Zurich in Switzerland, and instantly we shared a bond, and he's a loving person. But I think what he's saying is absolutely true, and it's actually practical for everyone. But still, in this contemporary world, I think people who really realize it, what he's saying is true, are the people who have this broadened horizon and they're thinking, and they have somewhere some kind of realization that we are more than just running in a race to earn some money or doing that. And once again, once you have a peace with your own self, once you have touched that base of your own self, of your existence, then you come in this world and then you think, okay, now I know that it is, why is it compassion, why is unconditional love? Because there are no conditions. As long as we are running in this world which is governed by you give me favor, then I give you a favor, you work for me, I give you money, and all these conditions, then it's very difficult to realize this in the practical world what Mohanji's preachings is. But as soon as you touch your base, you come back to yourself, to your own individual, and realizing why you are here. And then these things automatically come. I think instead of trying to bring these things from outside world, we should start it from inside out. Yeah. Once you do meditation, there are a lot of ways to do the self-realization. Reading some amazing books, yoga, meditation, just sitting in silence, asking questions to your own self. Looking at yourself in mirror. Who are you? Why are you here? These things, start bringing you to the base. And then once you are in love with your own self, you are in conditional love with a lot of people. The problem which I think in this world is many people are not even in love with their own self.
It's true.
How can you love somebody else if you're not in love with your own self? I see many beautiful individuals and they think, oh, this is not right, or I have to lose weight, or I have lost my hair and this and that. I'm talking about physical level. There are much more internal subconscious things which they have issues. The day they become one with the nature, the day they realize it, the day they accept it, that hey, you are an amazing human being and you have been brought on this world, especially in this physical appearance, because it has to be like that. Stop comparing yourself with somebody else. Then you start realizing and self-realization and starting having love with yourself. And with that comes the kindness, the unconditional love, the compassion, the everything comes like that. Only then you can realize what Mohanji is preaching.
Yeah. This would have led nicely into this because once you realize that state, people do say that the biggest transformation or the real transformation in life is to be able to move from a life of selfishness to selflessness. And I think that ties in with what you're saying, where if you become closer to yourself, accepting yourself, then you have that also capacity for others.
It's a very thin line between selfishness and selflessness. It's actually the side of same coin, the two sides of the same coin. You just have to flip it, and it can happen in an instant of a moment, and it can take a lifetime and still not happen.
Now, coming to some of the final questions which we have for you today. One of the things now, which is what we're encouraging, inspiring to the World Consciousness Alliance, is this aspect of contribution, giving ourselves to the world. And one thing we firmly believe, and I'll be interested to get your view on this as well, that the more we give ourselves to the world gives itself back to us. Do you believe that?
I believe it 100%. I would put a but behind that for other people, because I think when we start a journey by thinking, hey, now we are giving to the world and the world will give us back, there are some expectations which are tied to it, which really messes it up, because I've seen an example of many people. It's like, we have done so much good, but nothing good came to us. Actually, I tell them, the cosmos doesn't work in a mathematical way, that you give 2 coins and you get 2 back. It doesn't work like that. It's just, I say, once you have that knowledge, once you have that maturity, then you will realize that you just keep on giving, and something or other thing or somebody else who things coming back, but it would not maybe come directly to you. There is no direct mathematical thing. It's a very opaque thing, but it's 100% true. And once you know how it works, or once you have a realization of how it comes back, then you would definitely say, hey, this is 100% true. What Mohanji's philosophy or what you just said here, that if we give ourselves to the world, it will come back. But I always put a but behind that we should just give back. We should give ourselves to the world without any expectations, come or not, because it's always coming back. Even if you're not giving, it's coming back. There are a lot of things which are coming back. So we shouldn't really, we are the one who are just takers. We're just taking, and we're not realizing it. And once we start giving to the world, we expect even more without realizing it. I think it's a moral duty of us to give everything that we have to the world, whatever we could, without just having expectations. This is the essence of our existence. That's why we exist. Yeah. What else we are doing here?
And you've experienced that for yourself then as well, I guess, the richness which you actually get in that respect back.
Yeah, once you realize, we are getting everything from the nature, from the world, from people around us. If you really think about it, we are at this moment also, everyone is getting a lot of things. They don't see it. Humans are always focused on sorrows, on negativity things, on things which we miss. Our just focus is things which we miss. If the focus goes on the things which we don't miss or don't compare, which we have, then everybody is in abundance.
Yeah. And I think that one of the key things there as well is, if people think they've got obstacles and issues and problems and challenges, these are things which we can come through. Because I did want to ask, because I know that for you yourself, you suffered a serious incident, a serious accident, which left you quite immobile. And maybe you could also explain, because we talked a lot about the positive actions, giving back, and some people might think, okay, well, that's good, it's easy for some, but not for everybody, because I've got this challenge. Could you explain a little bit about that situation and how you overcome challenges and tough times?
Yeah, professional sports is very much, every sportsman, professional or even hobby, would agree with me that it has a lot of risks of injuries or health issues because you actually push yourself to the extreme. And I have gone through some very serious injuries, which I was told that I was not be able to walk again or do the sports again and that. But it's just the things you just listen to them, but you have a voice, an inner voice inside you, which tells you, no, you're going to work on that. I think in the end, it's life. Once you are here, they will have obstacles. They will have good times, bad times. This is a part of life. We should just be aware of this. And as long as you're aware of this, these phases come and go. They don't really touch you. They don't really affect you. It's when you are not aware, you go with the flow of the sorrow or of the difficult times or the downs. I never got a chance to go in Olympics and win a medal because of injuries, and it happened once and twice and thrice. My whole sports career went through, and every time before that special event, I was severely injured. I was in hospital, whereas other people were competing there and getting medals. It's again, then if you compare, it's like, why me and this and that? It's a normal thinking of a human, and as long as you get aware of things, I'm so thankful of sports, of wrestling, of everything. It has given me so much. So why should I focus on medal and recognition when the sports can give you so much in from so other ways? It builds your character, your mental toughness. It still helps me, and being healthy, being in the best of your body. It helps you also psychologically. It helps you also morally. It helps you socially. I'm fit. I can help somebody else as well. If I'm myself not fit, how am I going to help somebody who needs my help, at least at physical level? So it has given a lot of things, and I just realized, or I just focus on the things which I got, not on the things which I didn't get, because you can't compare that.
So thank you very much, Doctor, for coming on the show and talking to us. For me, it's really great to hear from you these words and this philosophy and this positivity that we've been sharing in conversation, because these are the voices and this is the message that more people need to hear at this time, the kindness, compassion. But one question I'll just leave on for today is that the World Conscious Alliance stands for a purposeful existence. Why do you think that's important?
I think, as I said, there is a lot of material outside which can make people aware of or awake them, because many people are still in their sorrows, in their sleeping state. And alliances like this, I think they play such an important role. If you just can awaken or make a realization to one single individual, you are changing a lot of lives. One individual is connected with many other individuals. It's a chain which goes. So I think alliances like that are the most important things in the world. You don't know who is going to listen to one of your interviews and whose life is going to be changed. This is how the cosmos works. You could be really a medium for somebody to change, not somebody, a lot of bodies to change their whole life. So I think it's of utmost importance to have alliances like that.
Thank you very much for the support, and let's trust that's what will come from these sessions.
Thank you very much, Christopher, and I am there anyways, anytime, whenever you need.
Yeah, a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you very much for watching this Conversation for Change. We really do hope you enjoyed it, and it gave you some food for thought and inspiration, and also a different awareness of a life that we can be living. And this is practical, which we're talking about today. Living kindness, living compassion, living unconditional love. And do join us for more series of this conversation, which will be featuring other very distinguished guests. Look forward to seeing you again very soon. Do leave comments, do subscribe, do watch in future, and see you then.